Navina looks like she's the director of GI oncology. That's what she does. This is her gig. So getting and same for the other guy. What's his name? Arturo Bonilla. He graduated a little more recently, so he's the junior faculty. He's actually more published. He's done a lot of research. Either one of them would be fine. Whoever they end up giving you, it certainly doesn't hurt to go. You're getting, if you go see them, you're getting an opinion, right? They're gonna, and frankly, if it were me, I'd go to Penn only because you're going to get a faster opinion as to what the opportunity, what is possible, and then you can put that in the thinker and say, okay, there's nothing to stop you at that point in time just from saying, okay, well, let's see who the medical oncologist is over at Jefferson and getting another opinion as to what can be done. I mean, that certainly could be pursued, but these guys are going to have the full biopsy results. They're going to have the recent imaging results. They're going, for them, they'll just open the electronic health record and be able to tell you what they think should be done.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a game plan. And he already said he's going to tomorrow try to get us an appointment.
Yeah, he talked about a cancer navigator. I mean, a program that's kind of the new is in the last several years, but the good cancer centers have these navigators who he'll pass your name off, and their whole job is to help you navigate the system and get in and see the right people. So, frankly, you guys have enough on your plate, and dealing with the headache of trying to get all this coordinated is kind of something you don't need, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to just, if they're saying, we'll pick this up and run with it for you and, get you set up, frankly, I would take them up on that offer, especially if you found getting over to Penn not as, I know that Jefferson got to be a bit of a pain, but if you can get the Penn, I would just do it because it's going to, at least you have a plan. If they decide they're going to, and I think the chemotherapy, it's an oral regimen actually, even so you wouldn't be. I don't know what they're going to recommend, but I think some of the salvage regimens are actually oral, which means you just have to be able to have phone calls with them or communicate with them about potential side effects, but you're taking the pill yourself. You're not having to come in for infusions.
Yeah, well, Pop, he was on an oral, and he never had any side effects. He did well on him.
Right. He was on an oral that was in the same class. It's a very similar type medicine to the one that I'm reading about here, that it's been used sometimes in this circumstance.
Oh, okay.
There's no predicting who's going to react to what and how they react to it, but I don't know. I think it's worth talking to them. Navina, I don't know how she says her last name, Damjanov. We'll see who they end up with. But she actually, interestingly, works at the VA as well. So I probably know somebody who knows her at the Philadelphia VA. Anyway, but I wouldn't get too. I think you're between the two of these. You're splitting hairs. I think that.
And like you said, they probably will work together anyway. So.
Yes. Yeah.
I know how it is with Jefferson. It's probably the same as like Jefferson. It was like a big team that worked together. It was.
Right. That's the way they work, and it looks like, just me reading the tea leaves here online, it looks like Arturo is. He's more of a researcher who does probably a couple days a week of clinical care and is part of the clinical team, but is the guy who's doing research in new novel treatments.
Mm-hmm.
And Navina is probably doing a little bit of research and 80% taking care of patients. So she probably is, my guess is she's quite good with patients, and she's, got a lot of experience in sort of the practical how to manage things, but may lean a little bit on Arturo for the, the cutting edge research. And so that, anyway, this is often how this works out. You have a synergy of somebody who's more of the clinical person, somebody's more the research person, and they work side by side.
Okay. Now, I don't know. I always can't think of the right questions to ask when I get to the doctor, and I get kind of lost, and that's why a lot of times I record everything just so I can play it back to remember, to hear what they said or remember. And I really like how you explain things and all. I mean, I don't want to, just tell me the truth. Is it more of a pain for you to get involved in this? Like, how I used to ask you, like, to talk to the doctors for pop and all? I mean, would that be something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, for some of the big decisions, it's not a problem, right? I mean,
do they frown upon, like, if I were to ask them to maybe talk to you about this, would they want to do that?
No, they're not. They're never going to frown on it. If you tell them that your whatever the heck I am, nephew is an internist, and could you give him a call at some point in time and talk to him about what what you're thinking, or so that he can help me understand it. I mean, I have patients who do this, and I always welcome that, right? Because actually, frankly, for me, it's easier, right, if I can explain it to the family member who understands
right, because
the healthcare world. It actually, in some ways, unburdens the physician, because you're not having to manage answering as many questions. I mean, I don't mean that they don't want to answer the questions, but it just can make it.
No, I understand, because sometimes I know what you mean. I mean, I'll ask a question, and then, I don't understand, and then I have to ask again, and they look at me like, you don't know anything.
Well, no, but this is what I always say is that half of, frankly, 3/4 of the responsibility of a good physician is being a teacher, right? And this is one of the problems when people don't like the physician. Oftentimes, it's not that the physician is technically incompetent or doesn't know what they're doing. It's sometimes they're not as good a teacher,
right?
In helping people understand in a way that makes sense to them what is actually happening. So.
Yeah, my biggest problem is, to be honest with you, is I just freeze up when I get there. Because every time I come home, Lindsay will say to me, well, Mom, did you ask this? Did you ask that? Did you say, like, no. I wish I could have someone with me, because I don't know. I freeze up when I get there. And my mind goes blank. And so, yeah,
right.
So if you don't mind, I'd appreciate it.
That I think, let me see if they have one.
And then what number do I give them? Do I give them the number you're calling me from?
Yeah, that's
for
my
you?
mobile number. It's
Okay.
actually my Google Voice number, but it finds me wherever I am. I mean, this number rings in the clinic. If I'm sitting in the clinic, it rings.
Okay.
On my cell phone, or from my office, it rings. This number finds me wherever I am. It's also easy to remember. It's 202-709-NEIL.
Ah.
I'm trying to see. Yeah. So the number one thing I recommend is when you go to see them, ask at the front desk whether they have a patient portal, or whether or how the team communicates by email. Because these days, most of these teams will have a secure email solution, like either through their portal online, where you can download your medical records, or they'll just say, yeah, no, we just actually send emails directly. Because I don't care who you are. You could be me and live your life in medicine. When I go see the doctor, I forget to ask questions. That's normal to get yourself a little bit riled up when you're in an exam room, and it's kind of high-pressure situation. You don't want to hold them there too long, and you don't want to ask too many questions, right? You sort of get the information, you got to process it the first time around, then you write down your questions and you email them off say, here are my questions. If you want to answer, if you could help me understand these, that's great. And sometimes I get questions from patients that email to me, and I say, there's no way I can answer this in an email. So I'll set up a telephone visit, right? But that's their judgment. I mean, they can figure that out, right? If it's something that they can email real quick, they'll just write back and say, yes, do that, or don't do that, right? That's good clinicians. That's what they're supposed to be doing. Granted, a lot of times, I tell my patients, look, I'm going to get back to you. It might not be the same day. It might be 48 hours. But when I get back to you, I'm going to answer your question. So people want to answer the question. You just shouldn't be shy about doing that. And, you can...
Yeah, this guy was really making me mad.